According to a Weibo post that cites Yahoo News, a man who stole a truck that had electronic devices was sentenced to 7 years in a federal prison. The reason for the harsh sentencing? Well, he stole White House property, which included teleprompters used for presidential speeches. Now, critics of Obama have been saying for quite some time about how much Obama relies on teleprompters, but for most people in China, who are accustomed to Chinese leaders reading from paper scripts, Obama's oratory performance seems so natural and fluent that many, and I would say probably the vast majority of people, believe that Obama was speaking off script, whether from total memorization or ad-libbed from the heart. Now, for some Weibo commenters, this news story is the very first time that they've heard about Obama reading from a teleprompter, so it was a bit of a shock. And now let's take a look at what some people had to say.
What? I always thought Obama memorized his speeches or that he made them up as he went along. This proves that all politicians are just actors. No wonder he is always looking from side to side. He's giving a performance, and he is a great performer. Honestly, our politicians are similar to American politicians. It's just that some have newer ideas and better resources. This is going to make a lot of people disappointed. We thought Obama was a naturally gifted speaker. It turns out he was just reading a script.
President Obama's speeches are so popular in China that some language schools use them as teaching material. Now, Chinese internet users have long criticized the heavy dependence of scripts by Chinese leaders. Speeches by Chinese authorities are also generally accepted as very boring and full of political mumbo-jumbo with very little meaning. Now, ever since Obama became president, Chinese internet users increasingly compared Obama's oratory skills to those of Chinese leaders, and perhaps in response, Chinese authorities have asked Chinese leaders to speak off script as much as possible. Not sure why Chinese leaders do not use teleprompters, but going back to Weibo commenters, many internet users were very forgiving of Obama for his dependence on the teleprompter, citing that to read a prompter so naturally and convincingly is already a great skill. Okay, now let's take a look at a few more comments.
What do you expect? He is the president. He is very busy. You don't expect him to write his own speeches, do you? Obama does have excellent public speaking skills. Just because he uses a teleprompter doesn't mean that he is a bad orator. Obama is able to get you engaged in his speeches, which is very different from traditional Chinese speeches, which make you want to sleep. When Obama speaks, you feel like he believes in what he is saying, whereas most Chinese leaders give the feeling that they are simply reading the scripts that other people wrote.
Now, going back to the original Weibo story, which was about theft, many Weibo users wonder that perhaps the government was overreacting and that a 7-year prison sentence for stealing a truck seemed a bit draconian. Now, some Chinese internet users also make comparisons between American theft of government property with Chinese theft of government property. And you can probably imagine the kinds of comments that came up. Now, a lot of the comments also pointed out that the American system is quite fair and most of all strict in its enforcement. Okay, let's take a look at a few more Weibo comments.
It's just some electronic equipment and teleprompters. It's not like he stole a nuke. Why overreact? I think the verdict was too harsh. The law is the law. It needs to be enforced, and the thief had a very bad prior record to begin with. I think he deserved it.
What started off as a Weibo post about the theft of White House electronic equipment became mainly a discussion on Obama's use of the teleprompter and the pros and cons of memorized speeches. Now, some Chinese internet users were disappointed. Some felt deceived, and others saw it as something that Chinese leaders can definitely learn from.